Imagine taking a deep breath of a welding torch. That sharp, acrid sting of ozone, burning metal, and fried steak. In 1969, Apollo astronauts tracked dust into their lunar module. They took off their helmets. They realized the moon smelled like spent gunpowder. But you cannot simply step outside and take a whiff. To smell the universe, you have to expose your unprotected flesh to the vacuum. And the moment you try, the universe will kill you. If you unseal your visor to smell the void, the pressure drops to zero. The water in your eyes boils instantly. The saliva on your tongue turns to vapor. Your lungs expand until they rupture. The delicate tissue tears apart inside your chest. Your blood turns to foam. You have about 15 seconds of raw, agonizing consciousness. Then your brain shuts down from oxygen starvation. The final scent registering in your dying neurons would not be stars. It would be the coppery, metallic taste of your own bursting capillaries. You are forced to smell space secondhand. You wait for it to cling to your suit. You wait for it to seep into the airlock and bake into the fabric. Astronaut Don Pettit smelled it aboard the International Space Station in 2003. He described a sweet, metallic sensation, like burnt cookies and welding fumes. This is the scent of high-energy particles, atomic oxygen clinging to a Kevlar suit. When you repressurize the airlock, these volatile atoms crash into the normal oxygen. They burn. You are smelling the ashes of atomic collisions. Space is literally searing the air inside the station. But that is just low Earth orbit. Step further out. The moon smells like a battlefield. Harrison Schmitt walked across the Taurus-Latrobe Valley in 1972. He brought the gray dirt inside the lander. He noted it smelled like fireworks. But lunar dust is not soft dirt. It is crushed glass. Micrometeorites have pounded the rock for billions of years. There is no wind to smooth the jagged edges. If you breathe that gunpowder scent deeply, those microscopic glass daggers will shred the lining of your lungs. It causes lunar hay fever. Stay too long, and those tiny cuts will make you drown in your own blood. Leave the moon. Fly toward the sun. Drop into the thick clouds of Venus. Soviet probes of the Venera program survived only minutes there in the 1970s. If you could somehow stand on that blistering surface and inhale, the pressure is 90 times heavier than Earth. It would snap your ribs instantly. It would flatten your lungs like paper. But let us say you just get a whiff. The air is choked with sulfur dioxide. It smells like rotting eggs and struck matches. At 870 degrees Fahrenheit, the atmosphere is hot enough to melt solid lead. It will incinerate your windpipe before the scent even hits your brain. Turn around. Head away from the sun, fall toward Mars. The Viking landers tasted the red dirt in 1976. Mars is covered in iron oxide, pure rust. It smells like a damp, abandoned metal factory. But you cannot breathe it. The atmosphere is virtually non-existent. And the dust is laced with perchlorates. These are toxic chemicals used in rocket fuel. If you inhale Martian dust, the perchlorates will attack your thyroid gland. Your metabolism will crash. Your body temperature will plummet. You will slowly freeze from the inside out while suffocating in thin carbon dioxide. Dive into the atmosphere of Jupiter. The Galileo probe plunged into the gas giant in 1995. It tasted the violent storms. The upper clouds smell like pure ammonia, like blinding industrial cleaning fluid. The winds rip at 400 miles per hour. As you fall deeper, the pressure multiplies. The gas turns into a supercritical fluid. It crushes your body from every direction. The ammonia burns your skin. The pressure forces the toxic fluid into your bloodstream. You dissolve into the storm before you ever hit a solid core. Fly further into the dark. Plunge into the ice giants. Scientists used the Gemini North Telescope in 2018 to look at Uranus. They analyzed the cloud tops. They found a massive concentration of hydrogen sulfide. It is the chemical that gives human waste its terrible stench. But the smell is the least of your worries. The temperature is 360 degrees below zero. If you try to breathe, the freezing gas will instantly crystallize the water in your cells. Your vocal cords will snap. Your lungs will shatter like fragile glass. Keep moving. Push past the edge of the solar system. The Voyager 1 probe crossed the heliopause in 2012. It entered interstellar space. Out here, the smell changes. There is almost nothing. Only one atom per cubic centimeter. A sterile, terrifying emptiness. If you could smell the interstellar medium, it would be the scent of raw radiation. Cosmic rays tearing through the fabric of reality. These are high-energy protons traveling at nearly the speed of light. If you take off your helmet here, the radiation will slice through your DNA. It will unravel your genetic code. Your cells will forget how to divide. You will literally melt from the inside out. Leave the neighborhood behind. Drift toward the center of the Milky Way. Scientists used the IREM radio telescope in 2009 to analyze Sagittarius B2. It is a massive stellar nursery. The telescope detected ethyl formate. It is the chemical that gives raspberries their flavor. It also smells like rum. A giant cosmic cocktail floating in the dark. But do not open your visor. This beautiful cloud is heavily laced with hydrogen cyanide. It carries the smell of bitter almonds. One single breath will bind the cyanide to the iron in your blood. It violently stops your cells from using oxygen. You would suffocate in seconds inside a massive, toxic fruit. Look deeper into the void. The James Webb Space Telescope recently peered into the Tarantula Nebula. It found polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These are complex organic molecules. On Earth, you find them in car exhaust, charred meat, and black soot. In space, they are the corpses of dying stars. When a massive star runs out of fuel, its core collapses. It detonates in a supernova explosion. It blasts carbon across millions of light years. The sweet, burnt smell of space is literally the smell of a stellar murder. You are inhaling the rotting carcasses of solar systems. Systems that died violently billions of years before humanity existed. In 2017, the LIGO observatories detected a ripple in space-time. Two neutron stars had collided. The crash forged heavy metals: gold, platinum, uranium. It blasted radioactive debris across the galaxy. If you were close enough to smell that expanding cloud, it would be the heavy, choking scent of decaying isotopes. But the gamma-ray burst would vaporize you first. The sheer radiation would boil your atoms apart before the nerve signals could even reach your brain. Everything out there is burning, freezing, or decaying. We classify the cosmos by distance. We measure it with light years. We build telescopes to put numbers on the chaos. 4 light years to Alpha Centauri. 13 billion years to the cosmic dawn. But numbers are a shield. They protect your fragile mind from the physical reality. Space is not an empty, peaceful vacuum. It is a slaughterhouse. It is an endless ocean of chemical shrapnel blasted from explosive deaths. And eventually, this cosmic chemical factory will stop. The stars will burn through their fuel. The nebulae will dissipate into nothing. The universe is expanding. It is stretching and tearing everything apart. Entropy guarantees that all heat, all light, and all matter will eventually decay. The temperature of the entire universe will drop to absolute zero. Chemistry itself will cease to exist. Molecules will stop moving. The smells of rum, sulfur, burning metal, and crushed glass will fade into total, silent darkness. The void does not care that you find its chemistry fascinating. It does not know you are here. The universe is a cold, blind machine grinding everything into dust. You are just a fragile bag of water and carbon, trying to sniff the edge of the abyss. You imagine the sharp sting of a welding torch, that burnt metal scent lingering on an astronaut's suit. But you are not just smelling space. You are smelling a warning. The lingering smoke of a universe that is quietly, inevitably, burning itself to ash.